and welcome to What's Sizzlin, the podcast that covers all things marketing. We have new guests each episode from companies covering all verticals. As always, I'm your host, Mitch Levinson, and I'm here with Lauren Pond. Lauren, welcome.
Thank you.
We're both with Creative Sizzle, and in this week's episode, we're going to have Louie Sharp with us with the Gifted Leader. Louie's great. I've known him for a long time, and he's had several different businesses, and he's always upbeat. I can't wait for this conversation.
Yeah, I think this will be really good. It'll be inspiring to people, I think, who are wanting to start their own business. The fact that he started his first business at the age of 23 and it's still going strong some 40 years later is amazing to me.
Yeah, being a business owner for the last 40 years and buying and selling businesses along the way and continually learning and just keeping up with what's new and changing and adapting to everything is really what leaders need. And what he's doing now with teaching people to become a leader and teaching people to understand and support their own businesses and really trying to help them strengthen what they've already built as a foundation. Really great. He fits right into the type of people that I like to deal with and talk to. Obviously, my background with coaching and helping. So I love it when I talk to Louie.
The thing is that he's always learning and he likes to push on what he's learned to other people, especially the fact that he mentors high school kids. What a great age to start them thinking about their future or being an entrepreneur. And they can learn from somebody who's done this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's almost like part of the conversation we had with John from Credit Solutions when he was talking about teaching people in high school about their financial futures and how to do that. And with what I do with the high school, with the entrepreneur program and trying to mentor kids to be better and coaching and all that, Louie fills that role the same exact way with some of the organizations he's involved in. And he helps them learn. It's really not that he teaches them, but he helps them learn along the way what they need to do and how they're going to be the best that they can be. And it's really great. And it certainly starts at a young age. And, with all the experience that Louie has and how he's helping businesses today, really important. And for all of you listeners out there that are in a business right now that, you think you're doing really well and you want to just check that you're doing okay, or, you're having a little bit of a tough time and you want to do a little bit better, you're going to want to listen to this episode today because Louie's going to be able to help you not only today with what you can do by yourself, but also you're going to want to contact him and talk about how he can help you specifically. But certainly stay tuned because today you're going to learn some techniques and some tips, and we're going to talk about what you can do to improve your business. And some of them are really simple to do. And one of the things we just talked about is just always be learning, just keep an open mind. And we're going to talk about that.
And the fact that he has a book coming out. So I can't wait to get my hands on that book.
Exactly. So we're going to take a little break right now. When we get back from the break, we're going to be back with Louie Sharp with the Gifted Leader. Are you a company looking to offer a trade show or a training program or have some other company event but don't know how? Contact Sheena Lynn Majette with SLM Education Solutions at slmeducationsolutions.com and she can help. She offers innovative ways to program events and have events with positive outcomes. Whether you are looking for a format for an education seminar or for a daily event or for a trade show, contact Sheena Lynn Majette and she can help at slmeducationsolutions.com.
This episode of Creative Sizzle is brought to you by the gym. Instead of building up your muscle, we want to help you build up your brand. Come to us for the best and latest in marketing innovations. And now, back to What's Sizzlin' podcast.
Welcome back to the What's Sizzlin' podcast, the show that covers all things marketing. And here we are today with Louie Sharp with the Gifted Leader. Louie, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mitch. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. It's always inspirational to talk with you. So you and I have known each other for a long time. I want to start this episode with a little bit about the Gifted Leader and tell me the story behind your brand.
Sure. It's kind of a long story, but I'll give you the short version. I was in the Marines for 20 years and I was a door gunner and crew chief on helicopters. It's kind of like the movies. We have a briefing before we go do a mission. And so it's one of those briefings. I'm in the room and I've been assigned to fly with a guy named Bill Nurbin. And in the briefing, I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, he's kind of like a computer nerd looking guy. His hair's perfect and he's got glasses. He looks more like a librarian than a Marine aviator. But I had the thought to myself, I thought, if the proverbial stuff ever hit the fan, I'd really like this guy at the controls. As we were walking out to the helicopter that morning, I said to him, I said, as a leader, you have many gifts. And I explained to him that I loved his calmness and that whatever was going on around him, he was always calm. He was always patient. As fate would have it, again, the short version, that very day, midday, we crashed in a helicopter. Our helicopter crashed. Had it not been for Bill Nurbin being all the things that I had realized about him in that moment when I was busy judging him and then turned to what was positive in him, he had all those attributes when we started the process that led to the crash. He never lost his composure. He never lost his cool. And it chokes me up, but him and I were the last two. Actually, I was the second to the last. He was still in the hospital. They released me and I went to his room. And I went to his room to thank him for saving my life because he literally did. And when I got to his room, I couldn't speak. And Mitch, like you said, we've known each other a long time. I've never had a problem saying anything, but I was at a loss for words. When I looked into his eyes, I knew he knew what I was trying to say. And we had a small chit-chat conversation. And then as I was leaving, it was the first time I ever heard in this order. He said, Louie, he said, you are a gifted leader too. And I left that room and I made a commitment to myself that I was going to live up to what he thought I was and to try and model what he's been. And one of the things I love to start presentations with is I'll ask the entire room by a show of hands, who's a leader? And most of the time, the majority of people put their hand up. And then I say, if you don't have your hand up, put your hand up because somebody's watching you. I don't care who you are or where you live in your life. Somebody's watching how you even just pump gas at the gas station. Then the next question I asked them is, how many of you, by a show of hands, have had a positive impact on another person's life? Everybody's hand goes up. And then I say, you're a gifted leader. We're all gifted leaders. We just don't look at it that way. And people have said, you're kind of arrogant. The name of your company is the gifted leader. I don't see it that way at all. I see that everybody, much like you were talking about with the things that we do to help other people, everybody's a gifted leader. One of my missions is just to wake everybody up to that idea.
Yeah. And I think what you started with right here with, the story, I keep thinking about things that happen in, real life and trying to apply them here. And movies are not actually real life, but it tells a good story. When you talked about that pre-meeting, that pre-briefing before the helicopter ride, I kept thinking about the movie Avatar, right? And, when they first get to Pandora and that colonel or whatever is giving them this very harsh version of reality pep talk. Or I think of Phil Jackson with the Bulls before a game, giving them a pep talk, or, I've heard you use some references to John Wooden in the past, but that pep talk in the very beginning, people always think about it, the pep talk being positive, but what you just described is really more realistic, getting people to think about what they're doing in a different way, taking a different approach or thinking about it differently. People don't always think that a leader is someone that has an influence in someone else's life, because at times everyone's a leader. And you don't call yourself a leader and become a leader, right? You have to earn leadership from people because they follow you. I can give you a title, Louie, and you're the president of this company, and you might be the highest paid person or the one making the decisions, but that does not mean you are a leader.
Yeah, that's a great point, Mitch. And I think there was a bunch of golden nuggets you just threw in there. One of them is that we can learn from a pop song on the radio. There's a message in there, whether it's a pop song, a movie, a book, a play. We can learn from all over. And you're right. The other part of it is there's been lots of highly paid people that led companies right into bankruptcy. Just because they were given that title doesn't mean that they were capable of it. And I think that's why lifelong learning is such a critical tool, right? Because it constantly changes.
So tell me a little bit about what the process is. By the way, if you're listening to the podcast, stay tuned because we're going to share with you an offer at the end that Louie's made to companies listening. But, what is it that you look for in that very beginning, that discovery, that kind of initial pep talk with a company? How do they know that they need to call you, or how does that beginning start?
On their end, it's stress, right? They're not getting the results they want in their business, or they're putting in way too much time to get the results that they think they want to get. And in that initial consultation, I'll start with one of my favorite quotes by Jim Rohn. You can't hire other people to do your push-ups for you. I've been blessed with a vast knowledge of experience and learning and mentorship and all those things. But the most important thing I'm after, it doesn't matter what the problem is with their business. That's all easy to fix. The first thing I'm in discovery, what I want to know is, are they going to do the push-ups? I've got a pretty bold offer that we're going to share with people at the end, but I can tell you that nothing works until you do, right? And there's no magic wand, there's no magic pill. We've become a society that wants to take a pill to be happy, to lose weight, to be smarter, to have a stronger heart instead of exercising. Those pills don't exist. If you go do the work, it's amazing what'll happen. But that's the most important thing. I'm looking for people, have they worked with a coach or a consultant before? One of the things that people do when I give them a book to read, they've got to start reading day one based on where they're at and what their challenges is. I'm going to give them a book to read right off the bat because leaders are readers. And at that point, it's a lifelong lesson that I'm going to learn until the day I die. I'm curious about everything. And one of the most amazing things I've realized, I've studied spirituality, finance, relationships, time management, business, marketing, sales. And it doesn't matter what you learn from where. You can apply it to your family. You can apply it to your business. You can apply it to your personal life. And at that point, it's all connected, right? If you start exercising on a regular basis, I was on a webinar last week, and this woman said, you want to grow your business? Exercise every day. Interesting statistic. Marathon runners and triathletes are 39% more productive than people that don't exercise.
It's amazing. It reminds me of that commencement speech. And he said, you want to change the world? You start by making your bed.
Right. It's exactly right. And what people don't understand, I'm consulting a business owner right now. I've got him doing 5 things every day. Every day I've got him now where the first thing he does in the morning, he does 5 things to grow his business. It could be calling past clients, an email blast, calling new clients, whatever. And here's the secret. And I learned this from Jack Canfield. If I gave you an axe and told you to go chop down a redwood tree, Mitch, and you went to that tree every day and hit it with that axe, took one swing at it, it's not a question of if the tree's coming down. It's simply a question of when, but it's every day. It's that one whack at the tree every day. And you know this in marketing, right? Where what your expertise is, you tell people, listen, we're not going to market for 30 days or 60 days. Marketing is an ongoing, ever-present activity that we do day in and day out. And it's those little consistent things that make us so viable in the marketplace because now the world sees us regularly. They don't see us once and then we're gone or sporadically. And this is a powerful thing for people to understand. There's a great book out there called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And that's what he talks about. It's the little things that you do repeatedly, consistently that change the game.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. It all started with that mindset of I have to know that there's a problem to begin with. I have to know that I want to make a change. We talk to a lot of companies, and when we go through our discovery process of whether we want to work with them or not, and we're relatively selective with who we want to work with, and we'll work with everyone in lots of industries. But the one thing that will prevent us from working with you is if you're not ready, if you are not a forward-thinking company, if you've always done it this way and it works and you just want me to run what you've done, I am not the right company for you. But if you want to change and you want to do things better and the right way and be open to new ideas, because new ideas generate more revenue for you, and you want to put me in the marketing department on the revenue side of your balance sheet and not a check that you got to write as an expense on your expense side of your balance sheet. If you can think about marketing in that way, we can have a great positive lead generating experience. We drive 6 times the national average in terms of leads. So our clients do 6 times what their competitors typically do in terms of traffic, leads, sales, all that. That's statistically proven. But if you're not ready for that, if you think you can do it yourself, we're not right together. You got to be ready for it.
Again, you're dropping golden nuggets, brother. And I can tell you, if we were in the same room, I'd hug you, because I can tell you that you're absolutely right. You got to be aware that there's an issue and you've got to be open. One of the things I teach people that's really powerful in leadership is confidence and courage, right? You got to have the confidence and courage. And I like to touch on something else. They got to switch their flipping mindset, because when they come to people like us, they think, man, you cost a lot. No, I don't cost a lot. I'm a flipping investment in your future. I'm an investment in you. I'm an investment in your company. One of the things I ask people that's a great telltale, I asked them, what's in your personal budget for your personal growth and development annually? And you'll be amazed at how many people don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. At least $10,000 a year, I have in a budget that gets Louie better, smarter. I've sat in meditation classes. I've sat in finance classes. I've sat in all kinds of classes, but I'm investing in me. When they go to a company like you or me, we're not an expense. We are not the electric bill where they get lights, but they don't get anything back. We have a thing called ROI. I can tell you right now, this could go on all day. Yep. So you need to rein me in and get me whatever you want to get out.
We're almost there. Don't worry. I got your reins, brother.
Yeah. And so, but I can tell you that people, it's an investment. It's not an expense, because it's going to grow you and it's going to grow your business. And I love what you just said, because if you get a business owner that can let go of the control, because to grow a business, you have to let go. You have to be brave enough. You have to have courage to let go and give somebody else that trust and responsibility.
And you have to be mindful that you need people to help. I mean, Steve Jobs said it. He said, I don't hire smart people and tell them what to do. I hire smart people so they can tell me what to do. The best clients we have, they have a marketing department on staff. They have people that work in their company that do marketing. They just don't know how to do all of what you need from a marketing standpoint. So we make them look like a rock star to their boss, and we help the company grow. So again, are you prepared for the growth? If you're just saying you want to grow and you want to do better, and it's, you're not really ready and you're not there, you're the alcoholic that, is not quite ready to stop drinking. And that's okay. I mean, it's not okay. I don't want anyone to be an alcoholic, but it's your choice. If you're in business and it's just fine and you want to be where you are, that's okay. But we're not right for each other, and you'll be ready to call me at some point in the future. But I hear what you're saying. And it's that always be learning and letting good people do what they do best.
And so I'll share this with you, and you may remember the commercials, the Shell Answer Man. It used to be those gasoline commercials, and the guy would come on and tell you how often you should change your oil and all that kind of stuff. And I tell business owners and managers in companies all the time, stop being the Shell Answer Man. To your point, I agree with that strategy and that philosophy. Have smart people working for you. And when they come to you for an answer, just turn it back on them and say, what do you think? And one of the things I teach as a practice to give your audience some golden nuggets to take away is to start training your staff and your employees. So let go of the word problem, right? When you use the word problem, your brain freezes up. Use the word challenge or issue. When they have a challenge or an issue, they have to come up with 3 solutions. They have to come to you with those 3 solutions, and they have to give you their number 1 solution and why. And what you're doing in this process is training your employees to think, to do critical thinking on their own. And then what you can do based on the 3 solutions they have, you can coach them on what another option might be or why you might have selected one of their other 3 choices. But the whole thing is teaching them to be the thinker in the organization, to solve things so that you can do the big things you're supposed to be doing, like casting the vision and looking at the horizon and what's coming up in the marketplace and those kinds of things, and let them do that work.
Yeah. And I like the word challenge, because there's always, in every business situation, there's room for growth. There's a silver lining. There's something that's good that's going to come out of it. As long as you're not stagnant, you're either growing or shrinking. It's one of the two. You're not ever staying the same. So as we begin to wrap up, let's talk a little bit about how would someone get in touch with you if they knew that the time was right for them to need the gifted leader.
They can get in touch with me at info@thegiftedleader.com.
Great. So that makes your website, thegiftedleader.com?
Yes, sir, it does.
Awesome.
So keen grasp of the obvious. Good work, Mitch.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. Yeah, Captain Obvious here at your service. But all right, well, thank you very much, Louie, for being on the show. We're going to take a little break here and be back with Lauren in a minute. And we're going to share with you an offer for all of those companies that are listening, for the first 20 of you that are going to be able to take advantage of. So stay tuned for the offer. And again, whether you take advantage of the offer or not, if you are looking to improve your business and get better personally and professionally, I would definitely reach out to Louie Sharp at info@thegiftedleader.com. And we'll be right back. This episode of What's Sizzlin' is brought to you by Creative Sizzle, an award-winning marketing agency that builds brand and drives sales. Did you know that SEO and SEM are very different? While many people have a hard time differentiating between the two, we have had many years of experience building effective SEO, search engine optimization, and SEM, search engine marketing plans. Creative Sizzle makes it possible for your business to be seen at the top of popular search engine result pages. Whether you're looking for free, organic tactics, or want to spend some cash to see results, Creative Sizzle can help with your digital marketing. Visit creativesizzle.com to learn more. This episode is brought to you by awesome employers that let you bring your pets to work every single day. In fact, while we're all still working remote or haven't gone back after the pandemic, you are your own boss. So here's to you, Dexter, for interrupting all of my Zoom calls and making sure people know you are in the background. Welcome back to the What's Sizzlin' podcast, the show that covers all things marketing. Well, Lauren, man, that was contagious. The energy level in that episode was just awesome.
It was. I could sit and listen to him give a presentation all day, and he would hold my interest the entire time.
Yeah.
You don't always find that with people.
Yeah, I know for sure. And when I talk to someone like Louie and both he and I with our high energy and passion about what we do and helping people and serving the community and trying to coach and teach and get everyone better so that we can get the best out of them, the energy level in the room just continues. And he was absolutely right that we could have that conversation all day. I would look forward to having that conversation with him all day. So, you know, one of the things we talked about, Lauren, and you know the offer that he was going to offer the first 20 people listening to this. So Lauren, do you want to share with the listeners what the first 20 listeners are going to get for free?
Yes. So Louie is generous enough to give the first 20 people that send an email to info@thegiftedleader.com. They're going to get a free 30-minute laser growth business consultation with him. And that is definitely something they don't want to pass up.
Not at all. And if you heard Louie for 1 minute of this podcast, you'll know that he will start to have an immediate impact on your business. Like marketing, it takes a little bit of time to kind of see it in the metrics and in the analytics. But you know he's gonna start you taking that journey of 1,000 miles with that first step. And as long as you keep taking one step at a time and focused on one step at a time and trusting the process and doing those things that you need to do, you're gonna see that end game. So great, that very awesome offer of a 30-minute consultation with Louie just to get started. And again, that email address is info@thegiftedleader.com. It's all just like it sounds. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Louie. How many of y'all were able to take advantage of that offer from him? Really exciting. And even if you're just going to call him and talk to him and have a beer and talk about his history and some of the stuff, you know, what he did in the service and you know, some of the businesses that he's owned, run, bought, and sold, he's definitely a great contact for you. I would certainly reach out to Louie.
One thing that he said that I'm probably going to steal from him that I wrote down is he said, nothing works till you do. I wrote that down because that really resonated not only with how I'm going to be in my business working with you, Mitch, for 11 years, but in my everyday life as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We definitely pinpointed that you need to have the right mindset and you need to be prepared in order to make change. And with the way that the pandemic is and where we're coming out of COVID, and all industries are changing right now, not only marketing, but operations, supply chain, finance, everything has changed right now. And if you have the mindset that you've always done it this way, it's not going to work. So definitely, if you're looking for growth and improvement and inspiration, I would absolutely reach out to Louie Sharp at The Gifted Leader. So thanks for joining us this week for another episode of What's Sizzlin'. Head over to iTunes or wherever you're getting this podcast from to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It really does help out the show. As always, if you'd like more information about today's guest, becoming a guest yourself, or if you need marketing support, all of that can be found at creativesizzle.com/whatssizzlin'. Thanks again. I'm Mitch Levinson with Lauren Pond.
Hi, everybody.
And we'll see you next time.